In our previous episode, we proved to you the fact that there is a strange phenomenon that no one has noticed before.
This fact was represented by the appearance of a strange sun next to our sun, accompanied by a big planet, in addition to two other big planets roaming alone in our sky.
It is very difficult to provide you with a comprehensive explanation of this mysterious reality in a few words, but we will divide it into parts, each of which we will address with explanation and analysis, and as our episodes continue, the truth will be revealed before you little by little. By the end of the episodes of our series, the whole truth will become clear to you without any ambiguity, so let us move forward to discover the truth about Altaric.
Since the beginning of the emergence of this unique phenomenon, which we proved you in the previous episode, two terms have prevailed on the social media platforms Nibiru and Herculobus, as activists link them to this phenomenon.
The first time people knew the term Nibiru was when Zecharia Sitchin published his book The 12th Planet in 1976. In his book, The 12th Planet, Zecharia Sitchin explained the origins of man according to ancient astronauts. He attributed the creation of ancient Sumerian culture to the Anunnaki, who he stated were a race of aliens from a planet beyond Neptune called Nibiru.
According to Sitchin, Nibiru is located in a long elliptical orbit around the Sun with a length of 3,600 years. He also claimed that Nibiru catastrophically collided with Tiamat, a goddess in the Babylonian creation myth, which he viewed as another planet located between Mars and Jupiter. It is assumed that this collision formed planet Earth, the asteroid belt, and comets. Sitchin also described the planet Nibiru as a planet with a large mass and intense gravity, and that it was known to the Sumerians as a transit planet.
Sitchin also stated that Nibiru was home to a technologically advanced human-like extraterrestrial race called the Anunnaki in Sumerian myth. It is important to note that Sitchin's ideas have been strongly rejected by scholars, academics, historians, and anthropologists who dismiss his work as pseudoscience and pseudo-history. So we have three possibilities.
1. Sitchin was completely honest in what he claimed. 2. He was completely false in what he claimed. 3. He mixed some truth with lies to promote his book or to consolidate a specific idea that serves a previously prepared plan.
But what interests us in this study is that he indicated the existence of a planet in our solar system called Nibiru bearing the number 12, that it is a huge planet with tremendous gravity, and that it is related to the crossing of the Jews from Egypt to Sinai.
This is what Sitchin claimed nearly 50 years ago about the existence of a planet belonging to our solar system bearing the number 12, and many scientists and historians objected to it. What is the situation of space scientists regarding this? Were they able to refute or prove it?
Planets beyond Neptune. Article from Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. Percival Lowell, originator of the Planet X hypothesis. Following the discovery of the planet Neptune in 1846, there was considerable speculation that another planet might exist beyond its orbit. The search began in the mid-19th century and continued at the start of the 20th with Percival Lowell's quest for Planet X. Lowell proposed the Planet X hypothesis to explain apparent discrepancies in the orbits of the giant planets, particularly Uranus and Neptune. 1. Speculating that the gravity of a large unseen ninth planet could have perturbed Uranus enough to account for the irregularities. 2. Clyde Tombaugh's discovery of Pluto in 1930 appeared to validate Lowell's hypothesis, and Pluto was officially named the ninth planet. In 1978, Pluto was conclusively determined to be too small for its gravity to affect the giant planets, resulting in a brief search for a 10th planet. The search was largely abandoned in the early 1990s, when a study of measurements made by the Voyager 2 spacecraft found that the irregularities observed in Uranus's orbit were due to a slight overestimation of Neptune's mass. 3. After 1992, the discovery of numerous small icy objects with similar, or even wider orbits than Pluto led to a debate over whether Pluto should remain a planet, or whether it and its neighbors should, like the asteroids, be given their own separate classification. Although a number of the larger members of this group were initially described as planets, in 2006 the International Astronomical Union, IU, reclassified Pluto and its largest neighbors as dwarf planets, leaving Neptune the farthest known planet in the solar system. 4. While the astronomical community widely agrees that Planet X, as originally envisioned, does not exist, the concept of an as-yet unobserved planet has been revived by a number of astronomers to explain other anomalies observed in the outer solar system. 5. As of March 2014, observations with the WISE telescope have ruled out the possibility of a Saturn-sized object, 95 Earth masses, out to $10,000 and a Jupiter-sized, almost equals 318 Earth masses, or larger object out to 26,000 AU. 6. In 2014, based on similarities of the orbits of a group of recently discovered extreme trans-Neptunian objects, astronomers hypothesized the existence of a super-Earth or ice giant planet, 2 to 15 times the mass of the Earth and beyond $200 with possibly a highly inclined orbit at some 1,500 AU. 7. In 2016, further work showed this unknown distant planet is likely to be on an inclined, eccentric orbit that goes no closer than about $200 and no farther than about $1,200 from the Sun. The orbit is predicted to be anti-aligned to the clustered extreme trans-Neptunian objects. 8. Because Pluto is no longer considered a planet by the IU, this new hypothetical object has become known as Planet 9. 9.
Thus, we now have a claim from the Jewish archaeologist Zechariah Sitchin that there is a planet belonging to our solar system called the 12th planet, which is located behind Neptune and has an elliptical orbit that approaches the Earth every 3,600 years. While astronomers are searching for an absent planet that is supposed to exist, and they call it Planet 9. Up till now. Here we can say that history and science assume the existence of one or more planets absent from our solar system, although many do not accept this idea. But we have 3 scientists who not only confirm the existence of this planet but also confirm its return. Let's get to know them and listen to them.
Mr. V. Mrabalu, 1926–2000, was born in Tolima, Colombia. He was a renowned researcher in esotericism and developed extraordinary faculties through years of esoteric practice. He is best known for his work titled Herculobus or Red Planet, which discussed the approach of a huge planet that periodically comes near to us, causing great catastrophes on Earth. His book is sent for free worldwide by the Olicon Association. He also founded the V. Mrabalu Foundation, a non-profit organization independent of particular interests. Mr. Samuel Weir, born as Victor Manuel Gomez Rodriguez on March 6, 1917, he was a spiritual teacher and author of over 60 books of esoteric spirituality. He taught and formed groups under the banner of Universal Gnosticism, or simply Gnosis. He was born in Bogotá, Colombia, and later moved to Mexico in 1956, where his movement gained increased popularity. Mr. Carlos Muñoz Ferrada was a Chilean astronomer and seismologist, born in January 1909 in Colbún, Chile. He was known for his remarkable ability to predict earthquakes and other geographical events with such precision that his margin of error could be up to 2 hours. He studied at the School of Nautical Pilots of Chile and graduated as a 3rd pilot in 1929. Later, on April 13, 1956, he received his Pilot S title from the National Merchant Navy. He worked as a meteorological technician and even served as the head of meteorology at Land Chile. According to his official biography, he studied experimental engineering and physics at the University of Chile, which he supplemented with courses at the Astronomical Societies of Paris and Milan. He also would have been a member of the Astronomical Society of Dijon. In the 1940s, he was a government research astronomer in Panama. In 1948, he established his observatory in Villa Alemana, a craft laboratory where he worked with second-hand equipment and equipment created by himself. He passed away in that city on October 17, 2001. His theories and predictions were controversial. Munoz-Ferrata based his seismic observations and predictions on geodynamics, calculated literally by hand based on solar explosions, planet attractions, and cycles of geophysical disturbances. He is attributed to have predicted earthquakes, climate changes, and volcanoes' eruptions. For example, he is attributed to have made the predictions of the Chilean earthquake of 1939 in 1938, and of the Algarrobo earthquake of 1985. He also would have predicted in 1940 the appearance of a comet, which was later discovered by the Royal Astronomical Society of London.
El maestro Ravolú, sabio, esoterista y profeta de nuestros tiempos, impactó al mundo con sus revelaciones publicadas en su libro Hercólobus o Planeta Rojo. En él describe los terribles efectos que muy pronto este gigante planeta causará sobre nuestra Tierra.
Hoy, en entrevista exclusiva y por primera vez ante las cámaras desde Bogotá, Colombia, el maestro Ravolú advierte del gran cataclismo que se avecina para toda la raza humana.
¿Será esto un susto más o realmente tenemos que pasar un cataclismo?
Yo me pongo a enumerar por la cual tenemos que pasar la humanidad. Es una cosa desastrosa nunca vista. Porque se habla mucho del continente Atlante, pero eso es un pálido reflejo para lo que nos toca a nosotros en esta era. Viene una guerra ahora atómica. Hay una pausa de lanzamiento de bombas, pero siguen las guerras de país contra país, en fin, un cruce de guerras por todas partes. El país que no entra en guerra, entonces hace su guerra interna del mismo país. Eso se forma toda una... Después vienen otras explosiones atómicas.
Quiero que me hable de este planeta.
Este es un planeta gigante, completo. 5 o 6 veces más grande que Júpiter. Ese acercamiento de ese planeta aquí a nuestro planeta trae desequilibrios mentales, porque la gente ya va a dejar de vivir aquí tranquilamente. La tranquilidad se nos va a acabar a todos. El cambio viene, la destrucción viene, y más que nada afectará a la humanidad en su existencia, en su producción, en su subsistencia misma.
Se ve que Hercólobus es un mundo gigantesco. Podríamos aseverar que es varias veces más grande que Júpiter, el titán de nuestro sistema solar. Y al pasar cerca a nuestro mundo, tendrá que producir una revolución de los ejes de la Tierra. Entonces los mares cambiarán de lecho y las tierras actuales se sumergirán entre el fondo mismo del océano. Indubitablemente, conforme Hercólobus se vaya acercando, el fuego líquido que existe en el interior de nuestro mundo saltará a la superficie. Entonces aparecerán volcanes en erupción por todas partes, acompañados de fuertes terremotos, y caerán todas las grandes ciudades del mundo. Nada se salvará de la hecatombe. Los que no crean, pues que no crean. Hechos son hechos y ante los hechos tendrán que rendirse.
Este cuerpo no va a pasar desapercibido, todo el mundo lo va a ver.
Y va a haber gran confusión.
Más que confusión.
Y le van a dar un sinnúmero de interpretaciones a este asunto.
Uf. Muchas. Sí, a la simple vista, cuando se ponga a la par del sol.
Quiere decir eso que va a ser muy grande.
¿Ah?
Para verlo a simple vista no va a ser una estrella.
No, ¿qué estrella? Es un gigante.
Entonces,
mucho más grande que lo que vemos en el sol.
No tan solo se va a ver, hasta fotografiar.
se va a fotografiar porque se va a ver a simple vista.
Sí.
¿Cómo lo describe? ¿Va a ser del grande de la luna, va a ser un poco más pequeño, una simple estrella.
Más grande que la luna. Más, pues.
Porque estamos sobre el tiempo. Estamos viviendo horas extras. De modo que hablar de tiempo ahora sería absurdo eso. Uno espera de repente, de un momento a otro, que se deshace todo, mientras se acerca el colbus, que se nos va a arrasar.
Son tantas las cosas que lamentable la humanidad no está preparada.
Época, incapaces de entender la honda significación que encierra este movimiento estelar, harán planes a lo lindo para el futuro, tendrán bellos sofismas de distracción, que entonces las gentes confundidas por los sabios terrícolas no tendrán ni la más remota oportunidad de defenderse.
Son unos ciegos. Están repitiendo como vitrola todo. No. Yo no creo nada en ellos.
Ellos son pobres ignorantes, que si no es con un telescopio no ven nada, son ciegos.
These meetings were conducted before the year 2000, and this phenomenon, which must be called the unique ayat from Allah, did not appear so clearly, but those geniuses were aware that inevitably it would come based on their spiritual and scientific research. What is strange is that they expected how the astronomical community would react to the matter, as they declared.
Época, incapaces de entender la honda significación que encierra este movimiento estelar, harán planes a lo lindo para el futuro, tendrán bellos sofismas de distracción.
Están repitiendo como vitrola todo. No. Yo no creo nada en ellos.
Ellos son pobres ignorantes, que si no es con un telescopio no ven nada, son ciegos.
Were they aware that those official communities were subject to policies that did not enable them to disclose the facts? What emphasizes this idea is that after 10 years, while all social platforms were ablaze with discussions about Nibiru and its threat, NASA on October 21, 2011, denied its existence. See how.
Hi, my name is David Morrison. I'm a NASA space scientist, and I want to talk to you very briefly about Nibiru. I'm doing this because I received a note from a 12-year-old girl recently that said she wondered if the video I made 2 years ago was still valid, that she and her classmates were scared about Nibiru, and could I please explain from a science point of view why we know Nibiru is not real and is not a danger. You know, the simplest thing to say is just that there is no credible evidence whatever for the existence of Nibiru. There are no pictures, there's no tracking, there's no astronomical observations. In fact, the origin of the name is a little weird. Nibiru was a minor god in the Babylonian pantheon, probably associated with Jupiter. There's no record that they ever thought of it as a planet. Sometimes we talk about planet X, but that's a strange term too, because astronomers say planet X for an object that has not been found, a possible object, like Pluto. When it was being searched for, it was called planet X. Once it was found, it became Pluto. So there really isn't any evidence here to counter, but I can quite specifically say how we know that Nibiru or planet X does not exist and does not threaten the Earth. First, if there were a planet headed into the inner solar system that was going to come close to the Earth in December of 2012, it would already be inside the orbit of Mars. It would be bright. It would be easily visible to the naked eye. If it were up there, you could see it. All of us could see it. And the crazy thing is people who say they are observing it but never tell us where to look so we can verify. Well, it doesn't take an astronomer to say that there's no bright object up there that's appeared in the night sky and is headed for Earth. Second, if Nibiru were real and it were a planet with a substantial mass, then it would already be perturbing the orbits of Mars and the Earth. We would see changes in those orbits due to this rogue object coming into the inner solar system. Astronomers measure the orbit of Earth and Mars precisely and frequently, and there has been no change whatever. Third, and perhaps most telling, if this object had come through the solar system in the past, and you remember the idea is it's on an orbit of 3,600 years. If it had come through in the past, its gravity would have messed up the orbits of the inner planets. The Earth, Venus, Mars probably would have stripped the moon away completely. Instead, in the inner solar system, we see planets with stable orbits. We see the moon going around the Earth. The very existence of this stability in the inner solar system proves that no rogue planet, no interfering object has come through the inner solar system in at least 1 million years. So it's not real. Nibiru doesn't exist. We can't see it. We can't detect its gravity. And we don't see a signature of its previous passages because there weren't any. Now, some people change the story around and say, well, Nibiru isn't even a planet. It's a brown dwarf with planets going around it, or something like that. Everything I've said would be worse with a massive object like a brown dwarf. That would have been tracked by astronomers for a decade or more, and it would already have really affected planetary orbits. So please, get over it. Nibiru isn't real. Planet X isn't real. We don't have to worry about this hoax.
In 1976, Zecharia Sitchin mentioned in his book, The 12th Planet, based on his translation of Sumerian texts dating back 6,000 years ago. The existence of a planet that follows our solar system bears the number 12 and is distinguished by its huge size and intense gravity.
He said that it orbits around the Sun in an elliptical orbit that takes 3,600 years for each time. Its last passage through our solar system was before 1600 AD. Sitchin also pointed out in his book the existence of an alien race similar to humans and superior in technology that had colonized the Earth for a period.
After the publication of his book, artistic works of the science fiction genre spread, especially those related to space. Since the beginning of the 90s, the two scientists, Samuel Aoun and V.M. Rabul, became famous because of their warnings about the return of Herculopus, the red planet that ended the Atlantean civilization.
In 1999, Puerto Rico's TV Channel 4 broadcast a special interview with the Chilean astronomer Carlos Muñoz Ferrada, in which he announced the results of his scientific study and observation of that planet for 54 years.
The meeting ended with Mr. Ferrada confirming the existence of this planet, which he called the planet with a tail, and with a warning shout that this coming will bring destruction to the Earth and what is on it.
Since then and to this day, social media platforms have been ablaze with talk about Nibiru, the exchange of opinions, and the developments of its appearance documented with videos and photographs, and recalling the prophecies that warned about it throughout history. However, in 2011, with increasing interest in news of this mysterious planet, NASA announced its denial of the existence of such a planet through its scientist, David Morrison. Despite the official scientific studies published on its website, which suggest the possibility of the existence of this planet due to existing facts.
Now, dear follower, what is your decision after knowing this fact? If you want more facts to be sure and trust what we tell you, please follow us and support us by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our channel to stay informed of everything new we offer. And do not forget to do your duty in conveying the truth and providing insight into it, as the one who tells the good is like the one who does it.